Okay, a little short notice live stream. Of course, I haven't live streamed in a couple of days. I mean, weeks actually. So a couple of weeks ago, Jay contacted me. He wanted me to check out some stuff. His first inquiry was his unicorn info globe. So the tricolor one, it apparently died. He wanted me to check it out and see if there was any life in it, and I told him I think it's pretty much brain dead. And I says I will be on the lookout for another one, and I did find another one. I had that in a previous live stream that showed it off that it works. Prior to that was another one that was dead on arrival. I got my money back for that one just by having the eBay seller watched the live stream, and he watched it enough to determine, yeah, it was dead on arrival. So without further ado, we will check out what is inside Jay's box that he sent me. So here it is. So we'll see what's inside. He said he was going to send me some other stuff to check out. So we'll see what's inside. So I got to do, I don't think my keyboard is not working today. That's what happens when you don't stream. Nothing works. Everything sucks. So I got to do it manually. Whoa! That's a close shot. So let's see what's in. Oh, we got a letter. Oh. Let's check out the letter. So we will check out the letter and we'll see what he has to say. So it says, "Dear Rolling TARDIS, here is a box of junk to fix. Maybe you'll be less junk when you're through. In no particular order, inside you will find the following: Brain Dead Unicorn Olympia Infoglow. It no longer farts out Lucky Charms, marshmallows, and glitter. No power supply included. Not a problem, I got plenty of them. Number 2, dead answering machine. Seems like the TARDIS inside may have malfunctioned. If it can work again, great. If not, it was fun while it lasted." So, what he's referring to is I made a video in the past. You can go search for it. I fixed his answering machine. So it had a, if I remember right, it had a loose speaker, and he wanted a way to have a better indicator that there was messages. So what I did was I put a green LED in line with the circuit, along with a other little piece of circuitry, I forget what it's called already, but it takes very low current, low voltage, and brings it up to, it fools the LED to come on. I have no idea what it is now. It's too late in the day to remember. Okay, so that's that. Power supply included. So if I remember right, if you plug it in, it gives a little bit of a blip, as far as I remember from a previous email long ago. So I hope it's something simple like a capacitor or something like that, that it's just not may have died. Jewel Thief. That's what I installed. I installed a Jewel Thief. So I have one here. Oh yeah, it's still here. So this is the very one that I built just to test my theory. So this is the Jewel Thief that I installed inside the answering machine to get a low current, low voltage red LED to shine a green one, which worked fantastic for a little while, but for whatever reason, it died. Okay, number 3, multicolor LED base clock that you have added a battery to. We have spoken about using a microcontroller to change the color of the LEDs. Needs to turn on immediately when power is applied. So what he's referring to is he had one of these acrylic clock bases that he had. So It's got little LEDs in there. You can have it any color, static color that you want: red, green, blue, white, pink, whatever you want. So what he wants to do, he wants me to put a little strip of RGB, or as in simpler terms, in my term, dream color. So one of the, kind of like what I got on the big Christmas tree outside, a strip like that. So I have a strip here and a little controller, and we're going to stick it right in there, 5-volt controller, and we'll power it up whatever the length it is. It ain't very big. It's only about like this big. So it's only going to be a couple of little pixels. So I got the tightest pixel RGB strip I could find where they're almost on top of each other. So that should be an easy little modification. So that is that. And number 4, an emergency hand crank portable radio. The micro USB port on it busted out of the box. China didn't want to replace it, and it was too late for the Amazon Forever guarantee. So broken USB port, solder in a new one. So that should be fairly simple. Number 5, a white cylindrical object. That's a Bluetooth speaker with clock. It was working fine for years. Then one day it kind of went wonky. I forgot if the display went out or if the clock froze or the whole thing froze up. Doesn't run while plugged in, but it used to, and in fact remained plugged in at all times. Hopefully that it's just the battery instant that went bad, and the rest of it is making the rest of it go nuts. Could be, who knows. Sometimes it would work, but the crap out an hour later. So maybe the battery's bad, voltage is too low for whatever input coming into it to make it work, or maybe it went completely wonky. Number 6, vintage clock Radio Shack. Boy, that's a classic word. Radio Shack strobe light backplate. Had this since I was perhaps 10 years old. Worked great until maybe 10 years ago, and it just stopped working entirely. I had tried a new Xeon flash tube, but it made no difference. So we'll have to see what was going on with that. Inside one of the packages, there's a piece of styrofoam. Packed inside is the Xeon tube for the strobe light. Can't remember if it's the original one. No idea where my new ones are. So he's got a spare Xenon tube to see if one's bad. Usually Xenon tubes, the only time they fail is if they gas out. Okay, what was that? So that was number 6. Number 7. Okay, now we're number 8. Light organ board. There is a 6-pin connector on it. It's marked what's what. Takes 120 volts AC. 2 pins next to that are the output, which is varied based on what it hears with a tiner microphone on board. Output is a 4 night light incandescent bulbs, 5 to 7 apiece, wired in parallel. Never seemed to get it to work right. I've had hit it violently to make it hear something, and then sometimes it works, sometimes it would take multiple hits. Other days it wouldn't work at all. Can it be fixed? Any chance there could be a volume control for what it hears added, so it can be adjusted to how loud I am playing my music? So one of them kind of like voice activated or environmental noise that activated little devices. So if it hears a noise, it kind of makes the lights come on and off, or flicker or flash or whatever. Oh, let's see. Or does it have some sort of automatic level control? So I'll have to see. So probably some of the circuitry is probably not sensitive enough. Maybe the microphone is not sensitive enough to pick up. Who knows? Number 9. A Bellyman light organ circuit board kit. This one takes a direct input source. This is a replacement for the original board. I guess it can be put together even if not needed. So it's kind of like one of them weird things, kind of like what I got up there on the computer there, where, you know, kind of like a VU meter or something like that. Same concept. It hears the input and it makes output to do wacky things. Not included, but I also need 6 18650s batteries without the belly button, and can they be crap ones you have laying around? Going to go in a couple of small battery-powered fans and a China work light. I can send you a picture of what I need. So he wants me to make up a little 6-cell battery pack. I guess that's what he's referring to. I got plenty of 18650s laying around. Also looking for this item, little fuse V1000, so 3 zeros. LA160BP 1.2 kilovolt, comma 2.2 kilovolt metal oxide varistor. Radio voltage rating, voltage AC 1 kilovolt, so 1000 volts. You can find it on Amazon with ASIN B073RPTO JJQ. It is $3.45 with $9 delivery. Can you get it for cheaper? Some guy commented on my bug zapper and claims this might fix it. I need 2 of them. So Jay had a video that his vintage bug zapper finally went kaput, and apparently some items inside of it virtually exploded and vaporized. So there was only little pieces of shrapnel. And going from, the YouTubes and the Googles and stuff like that, trying to find a wiring diagram for the thing, kind of was a bust. But I guess other people have found a way, or maybe had similar problems trying to get one to work again. And supposedly he needs this part. But that is the biggest problem with today's, when you're going shopping with parts, is that the flipping cost of delivery is absolutely ridiculous. $3.44 for a single little part, and of course you're going to need 2 of them for $6.88, but almost $10 delivery. It's just absolutely ludicrous the way the shipping industry is just raping us on a consistent basis. Okay, so we'll check out what's inside. So we'll go back over to the overhead for whatever else you can see. So it's going to be kind of tough because the box is pretty up high. So we got the little air pockets in here. So we'll toss them out on the floor. And we got stuff in bags. So open that bag. See what's in there. Here's the info globe. That's easy to find out. So that's the dead info globe. And this little item. And that's the box. Okay. So we'll see what's in the bags. We'll save all this stuff for repackaging, along with some extra stuff that I plan on giving Jay. I had a few little ideas, and I asked Jay, "Hey Jay, what's your shirt size?" And he told me the shirt size, so I got some nice shirts for him. That's going to be custom tailored. I ain't going to go on to any further details than that. I'll just show it off one day. So, of course, a lot of packaging from Amazon and China Pride stuff. So we'll see what's in here. Come on out. Is it stuck to something in here? Okay. So here's his xenon strobe Dewey. So, gotta check out the circuitry inside. Got a resistor in there. So a lot of stuff that, I'm probably gonna do off camera and stuff like that. Check all this stuff out and then bring it in for more detailed analysis of what I found and what I discovered, stuff like that. So realistic. So anybody that was a Radio Shack user, you're very familiar with realistic. So they had a lot of stuff. I had a lot of stuff. I used to love going through their drawers of knickknacks. Had their electronics, DIY kits and stuff like that I built that, most of them never worked. Okay, so let's see what's in here. So this is his little simple one-channel light organ. So this is the little kit to check out. So we'll check that out in the future. Then we got spare xenon tube for that little Dewey over there. And here's one of the other kits. That is what he's referring to, where one side is the power in and then the lamps going out. And here's a little microphone and stuff like that that's supposed to make the lights do crazy things and stuff like that. So we'll check that out. See if we can make it do something again. Then we got this package. Well, work. So here is the famous answering machine that died again. Then we got the white thingy. Bluetooth speaker? Is that what that was? And then we got the clock that I modified, that we're going to remodify again. And then the little crank up emergency radio. So, even with all of wonderful technology they got with cell phones and the internet, and if you're lucky enough to have backup power and stuff like that, good for you. But guess what? Sometimes your services may lose power and you're still not going to have any internet service. So you ain't going to know what the hell was going on outside of your doors. So that's why it's always good to have an emergency radio, just in case there's something coming that you're never going to know about because your phone died. Not that it died, that you got no service because whatever's coming knocked out the cell towers. And you got no internet, and you ain't going to have no alerts telling you that, something bad's coming, like a tornado or tsunami or whatever. So it's always good to have a backup power and a emergency radio, along with a regular storm radio, so you can be notified when bad weather is coming, because there's always a risk, no matter where you live in the United States, that you can be hit by a tornado or something worse, like wildfires or stuff like that. There's all kinds of that crap going on, and that's just the way it is. So we got his little Bluetooth speaker, we got this little guy, we got this little guy, we got that little guy. So the final thing to unwrap is the dead info globe. So check that out. So all I got to do is just swap the arms and put this one on the new one. So we'll check that out. Let's see if it come back alive during transit. Sometimes this electronics do that. So let's see if I can find my little cord. Wouldn't that be something if it just started working again? Not that I would ship it back in that state, because it probably wouldn't live. Yep, she's dead. She's brain dead. And I already tried rehotting. You see me on my previous stream trying to rehot the blob-on chip. It was a failure. So, but you got to remember, these things are over 20 years old. Not every single one of them is going to live. So that's a dead bit. That's brain dead. So, and also the motor is also a little gravelly. I can hear it. It makes a little bit of noise. So that's too bad it didn't live long enough. But this one, If you remember right, when I first got this, this was one of them pristine ones that was, I didn't have to do much to polish the globe and stuff like that. So we got one. Take care of that little issue. Okay, so we know that the inflow globe is dead. I think I put the battery back up in here. I think I did. I think I put the battery back up in here, so one. Not that it really matters that you really need it, because as soon as the phone rings, it's going to reset the time anyway on it, so that's not a big deal. But I'll put back whatever was in this one, because I don't remember where I put it in it. So that's our good board that will transfer over. So it kind of sucks for me to have things come back dead or broken. It's nice to have them come back to be remodified. That's always interesting. Yeah, I did put the battery back up in it. My little homemade battery backup. Remember me putting that in? So we'll put that back in. Cell's still working, that's for sure. So my little charge board and buck converter or boost converter. I don't remember what I put in it. Oh yeah, buck converter for the TP 4056 charger. So let's see if the charger still works. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So how well did it do all these years? It's still got charge on it? Does it still work as intended? As I designed it? Which was never designed to be have one something wild like this even put in it. Battery plus, battery minus. What do you got to offer? Come on. Four volts. Fully charged. So that's cool. At least something survived. Thank you for your service. So we'll take that out, put that in the other one. We'll restore it to original specifications because Jade paid for that. A little mod to be put in, so we will return it to him like that in the new one. So we got that little guy. So let's check out this answering machine to see if it still has that little blip. Sounds like the hot glue died. Or the cats, the Wittens, knocked it off the shelf again. So we'll plug that back in. We'll see if it has any blips of life. Nope, not even a blip of life anymore. Oh, there's a little bit of something on the display. So if I get the, if I can get it just enough of a power pause, I can get it to get the display to come back on for half a sec, maybe a quarter of a second. So there is life in this. So what I'll do is I'll take that jewel thief. I'll just desolder that jewel thief, see if it comes back to life. Then after that, I'll start hunting for power to see if I can bring it back to life. So hopefully, maybe it's just a capacitor that just died, or something simple like that. So that's that. And then this little guy here is the little clock thingy that I modified so that the backlight is always on. So I think this one I did have a, yeah. I think he wanted it so the backlight was always on too, along with the RGB's green color. So there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pixels in there, and the clock still comes back to life. So that's pretty cool. It still is. So over a length of time, it does. The clock does use power, so it does die. The battery does die. So we'll leave that plugged in to recharge. I think I put a battery in it, so you didn't have to fool with putting double A's in there, I think. So let that charge. Stuff like that. And then we got this little guy that we got to check out. So this uses 5 volts DC. So let's see here. What do we got here? That's that kind. So why the switch? That. And then put that back on. Put that little battery charge back up. Then we got this little doohy. So check this out. So I don't see any lights coming on. Okay. Oh, there's this display. So the display works for the battery. It says that it's fully charged, which I doubt that such a thing. We got a little reset in here. Let's see. Do I got anything that tiny? I'm sure he's already tried resetting it. So every time you hit the power button, the little battery icon flashes. So it must be some kind of fault. Maybe the battery's died. Who knows? We'll figure it out. We'll have to figure out how to crack this open. How to crack it open? Is there screws on the bottom of this silicone cover? Don't know. I might have to use the. Of course, it won't be easy to open. So I'll worry about that on my time and stuff like that. We'll build this little kit here, and we'll check that xenon tube out and that other little duty, and we'll rebuild that info globe, and then we'll put a new USB port on here to get that going. So let's see, what do they use for screws? Okay, regular Phillips, that's good. So we'll fix that little guy. Just a faint little LED in there that it's got a parasitic draw. Does work. So I used to have a crank, I think it was a crank radio, where if you cranked it, you get a whatever amount of minutes of crank time. So I know the crank works, is it gives you resistance. The LED is a little bit brighter. But we'll get the USB working again. It's solar power too. Leave it out in the sun. It's got a little flip up thing. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's got a little light on it. Isn't that neat? So we got wideband, AM, and FM. So 162, so that is the weather frequencies, 162, if I remember right. I doubt that thing will get anything in here. You got to have a pretty big antenna to even to get the weather frequencies. Of course, it depends on the what comes in during the daytime. Okay. So if I gotta have a let's see, 20 foot up, 25 feet up, 30 feet, and then the yard is 46, so 100 foot. I got a 100-foot antenna, and depending on the day, I can't even get the weather stations on the weather band, stuff like that. So, let's see. Currently nobody on right now, so we'll leave it here. Besides, this thing's already been running for how long? Yeah, 35 minutes. That's good enough. So with that, I'll come back as I fix things and I discover things, or I just do a review and stuff like that. Maybe we'll do a live stream on building that little guy, checking out other stuff. Probably bring it in for more detail instead of boring everybody trying to figure out how to take it apart and trying to figure out what's wrong with it and cracking things open and blowing things up and converting things and mind melting and whatever. So maybe we'll start with some of the easier stuff and work our way to more complicated stuff or something. I'll figure something out. So, and then I got to do my little surprise gift today to Jay. Of course, he doesn't know what he's getting in detail, other than something. So, other than that, I guess I'll end the stream here, and we'll see you guys sometime. So, with that, we'll see you all later. And when the next one will be, I don't know. So we'll see you later.